Hey everybody, and take a look at all these amazing cards. We're going to go over all of them. These are from my Christmas swap that I host every year, and I hope you have a chance to come and enjoy. And if you are interested in learning how to be part of my swap, the link is down below and you can get involved. There is still time this year, so don't fret. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notifications of more videos. Let's get started with the first card. First batch of cards is from Heidi Varden, and they are so stinking cute. I just love them. There's so many fun little elements on here. They're on a white background, a white cardstock base, blank on the inside, a little stamp on the back. She's taken a blue cardstock and matted it exactly on the front of the white card. And then on top of that, she's taken a designed paper. I don't know if she designed it, or I think it already was like an ombre where it goes from a lighter color up to a darker blue. So like a very pale blue up to a darker blue. And then she's come in and she's added little stickles all over that. But I think it already had the dots happening on there. And as you can tell, she's made a whole bunch of this card. So here you can see the gradations a little bit. It doesn't get as blue as fast, so my guess is this was a big sheet that she cut up. And so then what she has done, after she had her stickles and dry, we have two little layers of, this is like a glitter paper that she's cut in some like wavy lines and layered two layers together. One is pop dotted on top of the other, and it's it makes it look like it's a snowdrift. And she has these really cute little die cut pieces. Now, I don't know 100% if she has stamped and colored them and die cut them, but my guess is yes, because as I'm looking at one deer to the other, from one of the raccoons to the other, the coloring is just a little bit different. They're not absolutely identical. So it makes me feel like she's stamped, she's colored them, and then die cut them out. And they're too perfect to be, they are a die. Or they could be like a brother scan and cut or something like that. So we've got little raccoons that are playing in the light. She moved the bunny rabbit into a little bit of a different spot because not all of her snowdrifts are perfectly identical. So there's tiny little differences in these cards. We have a fox, we have a squirrel up here, looks like it's putting on an ornament. We have a deer, a reindeer, and then we have the tree. And the tree looks like it is a layered stamp. Like there's lots of, it's one of those multi-layer. So you start off with the lightest color and then you go in the next color and so forth. I think she colored in the tree trunk at the bottom there. And then she added stickles to this to give it that frosted, like it's tinsel on there. And then she put a whole bunch of sequins and little confetti pieces on there as the ornaments. They're so stinking adorable. And the coloring she did for all of the animals is with colored pencils. Except for the lights, I believe she did those in markers. We also have a pair of doves up here that are going to be putting on the Christmas tree light or the Christmas star at the top. And then over here, we have there's a doily that's been cut out of like a silver glitter paper. And that is behind. And then on top of that, I think it's stamped, and it almost feels like it's stamped on something very different. I'm not sure what that paper is. If you, Heidi, let me know what that is because I can't quite place what that kind of paper is. It's very cool. It's got a texture to it, but it's not quite cardstock. I don't know. It's very pretty. And she's got this very pretty stamp. It says Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Super swirly and filigree and all that. And then she's cut that into a circle and layered it on top. And that is so fun. There's so many layers to this card. And there's so many little pieces that she has done. And she made a ton of these. So, oh my God, that is amazing. I love it. Next card batch is from Mary Zimmerman, and she made 50 cards, and some of them are exactly the same and some of them are a little bit different. As you can tell, you can already kind of see a little bit of the differences that are happening in the cards, which I think is so cool because if you're making 50, it's kind of fun to switch it up a little bit, but still use the same supplies. So they're all on a red cardstock base with a white or kind of more of a cream on the interior, and she's stamped on the back side. Then she has placed, and this is the same for all the cards, she has placed a brown mat on the background and cardstock. And then on top of that, and this is such a cool idea, and the first card I've seen like this in a while, this background paper with the music and the holly is material. This is actually fabric. So she's taken fabric, cut it down to be the right size, matted it on top, and glued it all down. So you're getting different sections of the same fabric, and it's very, very pretty, and it works beautifully on this card. So that's such a smart way of making, I mean, you can buy a lot of fabric, and it's, you know, something a little bit different. It has a really cool texture to it. It's not heavy depending on the fabric you get. And you can make a lot of cards instead of having to try and find, you know, a whole bunch of the same cardstock. So very cool idea. I love that concept. Then she's taken a red strip of ribbon. Here, they're on the bottom. On the top, on the bottom. Kind of changes it up a little bit. They're a little different everywhere you go. Sometimes it's behind the brown oval, and sometimes it's behind the stamped image where it says "Blessed Christmas Wishes." It really, you know, she kind of changed it up a little bit and altered it, which I think is awesome. I love that there's just like these little differences, and until you start kind of seeing them all, you don't realize like, oh, hang on, they're different. Next, she has taken an oval, and this oval has a little bit of a stitching edge all the way around it. My guess this is a die cut. She stamped Blessed Christmas Wishes in red, and then inked the edge in red, and then added a little jewel where the eye is on the Christmas, which I think is so pretty. She has then popped that up, and sometimes they're at the bottom and sometimes it's at the top. Sometimes it's centered and sometimes it's all the way at the edge, as you can see. So it kind of changes up a little bit, which I think is so cool. Then the last element that's on here is that same brown cardstock that we saw as the mat. Again, this is like a nesting oval set. So this is the smaller one. Then we have a medium, and then this is the large. So it's got that stitched edge. So it's keeping that fluid throughout. She's die cut out that brown oval. So then we have a cream oval that also has the same stitching. She's inked the edges of that in a dark brown, and then she stamped in a very dark, almost a black, the image of Mary and Joseph on the mule going to Bethlehem. And so we can see that image sometimes, and that's all been popped up, the unit, not each individual piece, but from the brown cardstock, that part away from the material. So she's popped it up from the material. And sometimes it's down below, as you can see here, and sometimes it's up above. Sometimes the red ribbon's behind it, and sometimes it's not, as you can see here. So it's very cool, it's very different, and I love that. I love this color scheme. It's so rich and beautiful and vibrant. The next one is from Lori Burchell, and she's known by Graffiti Greetings. I think that's so cute. We have a white cardstock base. Here we go. And she's got her little Lori Burchell Graffiti Greetings sticker on the back. I love that. Then just keeping it simple, very clean card, but it's so pretty. And I love these ones that have such a huge impact, and there's a lot of detail. So it looks like, oh, that's easy. But there's a lot of little intricate things that you have to do to make this card look wow. First, we have a red cardstock. On top of that, we have a white cardstock, giving that beautiful double lines of color. Then we have 3 layers, and she's done the same 3 layers because she made 10 of these cards for all of her candles. The green is always the tallest, then we have a red, and then this is silver. And it's of a glittery cardstock. It's very, very pretty. And then at the top of that, and she's cut it to look like a candle, so just big rectangles basically. On top of that, there is a little fire, and that is out of gold. And so all 3 candles have a fire, and she's placed it so that they're kind of they're layered on top of each other to really give a cool element. At the bottom, she's taking in green, a different color green. This isn't a regular cardstock. A whole bunch of die cut pieces of fern, or it could be a punch, layered it all up because then it looks like the candles are resting inside a whole bunch of pine needles, which I think is so pretty. And then we have a double layer Merry Christmas out of cardstock. The red is behind and the white is on top, and that takes a lot of work to make sure it's lined up just perfectly. And then there's a little green gem right at the top, right where the eye is for Christmas. So pretty. This is another cute pair from Lori Burchell. This is kind of cool. Just because you're doing an A2 size card, I mean, that's the size of the card and it fits in that envelope, does not mean that you have to do a square card. She has rounded the top, which I think is genius. It's giving the card a whole different element by giving it a rounded edge. And my guess is that this is from a die, or this could be cut from a kit because it's got a little perforation in here. On the inside of the card, we have a layer. This is a beautiful scalloped kind of a label. There's a white, and on top of that, there is a blue, and it's stamped with a red Merry Christmas. And again, she's got her little stamp on the back. So if you notice, the front of the card is also cut out. So it's this illusion that there's a layer. So my guess is that this came from maybe like a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Cameo or something like that. I mean, it came from a set, or it could be a die. Could be either one. But because this is all paper piece, my guess is that maybe it came from like an SVG file. So right lined up, right where you see it kind of etched out of here, we have the blue layer, same blue colors on the inside of the background of the bird on the ice skates. I think that's so stinking cute. And then from that, it is paper pieced with a whole bunch of beautiful fun colors. We have orange for the beak, we have red for the main part of the bird with a design on it. I love that. A little Merry Christmas scarf out of the green. We have more of the scarf, so it looks like a scarf with a different color tail of the scarf, which is fun. She's added more red for the wings, white for the skates, and then she's added and penned the little laces for the skates. So she's mixed matched a whole bunch of fun colors, as you can see. So she's die cut like a whole bunch of the scarves, a whole bunch of things. And as you can see, we have like for the bird, right where the eye is, you can see where the paper is. She's put a little gem. Here, the eye is a little bit different. It's still a really pretty, it's part of the design. It's one of the snowflakes on there. So she's had fun with that. And then we have this really pretty snowflake where it's a white background with the blue all beautifully cut out and all filigreed. And that has been popped up in the bottom corner. So cute. Got a couple of beautiful Christmas cards from Carol Van Nest. I think that's how you say the name. It's on a white card stack, and on the inside she's added these beautiful little stamps, these little trio of stamps that match the color on the front. And then she's added her stamp on the back. So pretty. So on the front, what we have here is she's taken this beautiful, rich royal blue. And I love that it's like not typical Christmas colors. I think that's kind of cool that it's a little bit of a variation on that. And blue is my favorite color. I think that's great. So, and she has embossed that, and that embossing is a whole bunch of beautiful flowers, which is what's matching the flowers on the inside of the card. Then we have a little bit of ribbon. This is glittery ribbon that's wrapped and probably, taped on the inside. We have a tag here that says happiest Christmas wishes, and it's got a little bit of a stitching going around the edge, meaning it's like perforated, but it's not true stitching, it's a faux stitching. So this has probably been a die cut that's been die cut out, and then a couple little pearls. We have another sheet of cardstock, and this is a gray cardstock with this beautiful silver foil running on it, and has been cut in a circle, which also has that stitching perforation going all the way around the edge. I just love that look. It's so beautiful and just has that little bit of extra something to it compared to just a plain old circle. So gorgeous. And then she has this gorgeous deer out of this, like it's like a mirrored card, one-sided cardstock. It's got these beautiful antlers, leaping deer, or reindeer I should say, that has been popped up, and it perfectly goes so well with all the color schemes. So she's kept a very neutral color to really emphasize the beautiful die. Another set of gorgeous cards from Carol is so beautiful. These ones are red, and on the back side, we have her stamp. On the inside, she's given a white sheet of paper with a Christmas tree stamp, as you can see right here. This is so pretty. And she stamped the top, and it looks like layers in green, and then the bottom is in the brown. So as you can tell, there's one little tiny difference. Most of the cards that she made looked like this. It has this particular flower on it, and then one other one had this one. And she sent one specifically for me, so thank you. I appreciate that. I got one extra card specifically for me in swaps. That way I could get one of hers. And then she made 20 more on top of that. So she made 22. You rock, girl. All right, we have a red background, and on top of that, she's taken a panel of that Christmas tree. So she's tying in the Christmas trees. So here we can see the Christmas trees. So both of her cards, the stamp on the inside has something to do with what's on the front. They changed, so genius. So the pattern cardstock is a Christmas tree, and they're old-fashioned, tall and linear, just like the stamp. So smart. And she's added a little fishtail to the bottom, and I think she has inked the edge of that. It looks like she has, in red, to really match that. We've got that same circle that has got the stitching going around the outside. She's popped that up, and she's inked the edge in red with the same ink that says, "May your Christmas be bright." So pretty. And then there's a little tiny jewel in the corner, and then this beautiful flower that she's added to both. So this one's a poinsettia, and this one's like a layered poinsettia, and this one's a single poinsettia with a little brad with a pearl in the middle, which is so pretty. I love them. All right, next batch is from me. I made these cutie patootie cards using some layers of stamps and foil and all kinds of stuff. I have a white cardstock background. On the inside, I stamped Merry Christmas. And that goes for all the cards, just in black, very, very simple. I need to add my name to the back of them. I haven't done that yet. Then I took the Renia Starstruck foil in the jade. I think it's so pretty. So it's still a color, and it matched with the pattern paper in front. So it's still green, but it's not like emerald, which you would think Christmas green. It's a little different. But it matched with the pattern paper, which you see right here, all these little dots, strings of dots that came from Adorn It. A layer of this little bubble trim. Now, a couple of them I didn't do the bubble trim. I did what I call mini bubble trim versus really big scallopy bubble trim. But there's still a strip happening on all of them. Then I have two circles. One circle is in white, and I inked the edge in black, and all the layers are inked in black on, I think, 3 of the cards, and 2 of them I didn't ink at all. It just depended on what I was wanting to do at that moment. But I cut the circle off on the side and nested it over in the corner, just for something different. I mean, why do you always have to have a full circle? Stamped little coffee cup. This one I just left plain. I did silver and then a little bit of green on the top. But for all the other ones, I took a little mini candy cane stamp and stamped in the edge that would be what the coffee cup would look like, and then colored it in red. Did a red top, but kept with the silver like on the cardboard part of it. Popped that up, and I popped that up cardboard that I took my Xyron and made basically a cardboard foam dot. So really easy way of doing that. I cut out a couple pieces of holly out of the green foiled paper and the glossy with the golden reverse, and reverse them so you see a hint of that gold, and then just a little red bow on there. So stinking fun. Oh, and the last thing I did is I took, these are actually fabric puffy paints, and I did the dots going all around really to like emphasize all the layers of the dots in this card. There is a video on how I made these cards, and all my videos that I'm making for 2018 that are for this card swap are going to be up in the iCard. All right, this one's a little different. This is one that I made as a singleton, and I actually made this as a tag a long time ago, but the tag started falling apart. So what I did is I cut the bottom of the tag off. So you can see I kind of cut the bottom of the tag off. The Merry and the Christmas were falling off, so I pulled them off completely. The top, the ribbon at the top, I just pulled it out and I glued it along the backside of this craft card, as you can see, and then I taped it in there. Glued the actual tag to the front of the card, and then I did rip off the embellishment because it was kind of pulling apart. It got snagged on something in the box I was storing it in, so it was half hanging on. So I completely removed it and then recentered it so it would fit on an A2 size card. And what I did for the background of the tag is it's got a layer of like some newspaper. It's got lots of fun layers of embossing, and then I misted it, and it's got all kinds of fun grungy background layers. And then these little gold sprays that you see here actually came from like a floral pick. So this is what you would normally find like in a wreath or something. I pulled it all apart, made the sprays kind of going all directions. And then this piece right here with the white flowers came, I think, from like Prima. And I just glued that on top. And then added a little Merry Christmas here at the bottom. And that is made with one of those label makers. So it's got a little bit of some wonderful kind of ridging to it. It's kind of a fun way of taking a tag that I made a long time ago that was just in a box that was falling apart and turning it into a card. Yay! All right, here's a trio of cards that I made not as Christmas, but I did have it in the back of my mind that I could use them as a Christmas card because they're kind of generic. Let's celebrate. Well, celebrate can mean just about anything. It can be birthday, but it could also mean Christmas or holidays. And the tones and the colors and all this are very simple. I took a black cardstock base for all of them, and they all open the same direction, just like this. Just like this. Very, very simple. I have a foiled background. Some of them are dots, some of them are stars, some of them are little diagonal like wigglies. And then I took some stickers that are these long strips and made kind of a starburst effect, a giant stamp that says "Let's Celebrate," and then pop that up. It's simple, but it definitely could work for Christmas due to the feeling. And I could come in now and add a little something that looks kind of Christmassy. I could add like a little holly leaf in the corner or something like that to kind of, and I might do that. I might go back and just add a little something in the corner that makes it look kind of like a little poinsettia flower or something, just to kind of make it look a little more Christmassy because I'm going to be using them for the swap now. All right, this next card, again, was another one that I made all these little Christmas pouches last year, and there's a video from my last year's Christmas projects that I did. This is actually a gift bag, which still functions as a gift bag. All I did is I cut off the very, very top here, so here you can see it's a gift bag, and then glued it to a front of an A2 size card and inked the edges in red to kind of make it all work together. For the gift bag, it's a little craft gift bag, I added star stamps to the background. I then added a layer of burlap, kind of a strip of burlap, a little bit of some pattern paper, a strip of the Goldenia foil, a little bit of it's actually extra burlap that I pulled out, wound it all around, and added a little clip at the top, and then a large sentiment, like one of those Project Life kind of pieces that says "Happy Holidays to You from me." It's very simple. So it's one kind of fun way that I didn't give this one away. I gave a whole bunch, but I had a couple left over. So why not turn it into a card for my card swap and kind of switch gears? Because by the time I made this, I already sent all my cards off for the swap. So just a little something different. Here's another fun one that I made. Again, it's not technically Christmas, but it has kind of a Christmas vibe because the colors are so neutral. It's a white cardstock base, as you can see here. And then I took a little bit of this gray burlap sheet that I cut down to size and matte. And then I have a black strip of paper of which I punched out a whole bunch of stars of the gold and laid it on top of the black. One large black foil star, a button, and then a little bit, I pulled actually a section out of the gray burlap, tied a bow, and then put it on top. So simple. What I might do to make this a little more Christmassy is come in with a little sentiment that's on paper that says "Merry Christmas" or something like that, or I might just leave it. I don't know. Or I could do is I could come in and I could stamp a sentiment inside that says "Merry Christmas," and it gives you the idea. So lots of ways that I could kind of switch it up and make it more Christmassy just by doing one little thing, and it could be a stamp on the inside. This is a beautiful stitch card that I got from Linda Schwartz. She sent this after I made a comment about how the beautiful beading work is on this, and it's so gorgeous. And I just have to show you guys how amazing this card is. It is a white cardstock base, as you can see here. And then we have a pattern paper, and I think I don't think she stamped that, but you could. It could be a plaid stamp, but I think it came that way. And then there's a white cardstock on top of that, and there's a pattern. She actually sent me one of these patterns. They're so cool. There's instructions on how to do it, but basically you follow the pattern, you add the beads, you add the embroidery thread, or it could just be thread, and you follow the pattern and it makes a tree, and then she also has the star. So it's a really kind of a fun mix between doing a card, but also doing kind of a different kind of a craft, which I think is so cool. It's a blend between the two. I love that. And then we have this twine along the edge that she's tied a little bow, and it's in the green, so it all matches with the beautiful colors. All right, this is a really beautiful card that is on a craft background paper, as you can see here. And then it's matte with like this kind of olive, almost, it's not quite an emerald green. It's not really an emerald green. It's more of an olive green. And on top of that, we have a cream. And the cream has this layers of stamps. There's a background. First, it's a generation stamp. It's a big stamp, and I think it's in that green too, or it could be more in brown. And then it's a second generation stamp to make it look like there's more trees in the background, which is so smart. So you stamp once and then you move the stamp. So she did it 2 to 3 times to give notes twice, the front and then the back. And then she's taken a little bit of green stickles on the front and some green pen and really kind of emphasized and made it all shimmery and pretty and make it look like a forest of trees. This is from a friend of mine who made this, by the way, and she hand delivered it to me, which I think is so sweet. On the front, we have a Happy Holidays stamped in that same kind of green color, and then that has been popped up, and that has been stamped on top of the cream that is already existing. So pretty. All right, this is a Christmas card I got the end of last year, and it was one that was delivered just like to me personally, and this is from Elaine R. I love it, and she sent me, and I forgot that these were in there, so I might actually be using these on I'm going to pull it off, stick it on the side of my desk. I'm going to do it right now. Because now I'm making more Christmas cards, I can use these. Maybe I can use them on the previous cards. I said I just need to add a little sticker to or something. Perfect. All right. So that is so cool. I love that she sent me a card. And then I also got a little something on the inside. So she said, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hope you enjoy your little gift. I did. I do. And I'm going to enjoy it right now this year. So it's kind of fun to pull out your old Christmas cards, because sometimes after Christmas or you're done making them, you're like, I'm done. But this time of year, I'm still kind of getting in the mood for it. And I'm in the mood for it, so I'm ready for it. It is a white card, but the front side has a red base, front and back. So it's like a white, it's a one-sided cardstock, so it's red. Then we have a washi tape on the top and bottom. You know, it's got that candy cane stripe. We have 2 little snowflake plastic pieces that she's glued on there. Oh no, they're kind of foamy. Ooh, those are cool. And then we have a Let It Snow little piece that she has just glued on. It looks like it was cut out from a sheet of paper. Like I had a whole bunch of little sentiments. And it is so pretty. It's simple and it's so gorgeous. Thank you. This is another one that I got delivered towards the end of last year. This is from Amy Getz. And again, she wrote on the inside, very pretty, hope your holidays. Well, she stamped it, and then she said to Erin, have a Merry Christmas, Amy. And it's a red cardstock, as you can see. And then we have this beautiful pattern paper of all these swirls, and then just a simple little sticker on the front. That's an elf carrying a little gift. I love it. This is another one that got sent to me in the last year that I kind of kept aside for a little while. This one is from Michelle Frey Cummings. This is so pretty. She's got 2 layers here. So the first one is this white cardstock that she has embossed, and then she added, I think she did this whole mixed media and die cut out the tree from it. Add that layer so you can see the embossing from behind, but you still see this beautiful mixed media on the top. And then she has a red base. And then to put the 2 parts together, she washi taped it together. It's kind of come a little undone over the last year, but that's okay. But it also adds this really pretty border along the edge of her card. So pretty. I love it. All right, this is one that I made as a big batch, and this was part of the pieces that were left over. I didn't have all the elements left, but I did a massive batch of Christmas cards, and it's a white cardstock base that you open vertically, a couple layers of the foiled paper, some burlap with some black cardstock on top, and then this die cut piece that says we wish you a Merry Christmas. It's not die cut, it's from like a whole page that had a whole bunch of different pieces that you could cut out. It's like an ephemera page. No. Just it was an element page that you could cut out what you want. And then some more of the Renea foil paper that I actually kind of cut in half and separated it to give it a little bit more space going front and bottom. I think it needs a couple little dots or something, or a little something right here because it's kind of blank. It looks a little bit empty. So I got to do that before I mail it off. So, oh my goodness, look at all these amazing cards. Thank you so much. If you are still interested in joining the swap, don't forget the link is down below. It is not too late. You still have a couple weeks before you need to get the cards mailed off to me. And as long as it's in batches of 10, you're good to go. So check out the link below. Also, for any of the people that have sent me cards and I know their Facebook or they know their YouTube channels, that when I know they create cards and give you inspiration, I will put their links as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. Therefore, you can get notifications of new videos from me, and have a wonderful holiday. Bye-bye.